Willie D Live.
In the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Billy Sorrells.
We here. We are here.
What's up, King?
And I say we because I speak about myself and my multiplicity of personalities.
Oh, hell.
And bipolar dysfunctional self. we are here. What's up, man? You know what I mean? We are in the building. Yeah.
Wow, man. Yeah, it's a whole lot of things up, man. What I want to know is
Where we starting at? Let's run it.
Man, let's start with the morning hustle. What happened to that show, man? What happened with you on that show?
Man, let me tell you something. First of all, I want to say thank you, Kathy Hughes. Thank you to Ricky Smiley. Thank you to Tom Joyner. Thank you to, all of my family over there at Radio 1, Urban 1, for a tremendous opportunity of what it was. To give some brief backstory, I was on the Tom Joyner cruise performing, and I tore that shit down. Tom Joyner saw me on the cruise and was like, "Nigga, you ever thought about being in radio?" And we laughing, drinking tequila. If you know Tom Joyner, that's what he on. And he was like, "Man, there's some opportunities coming up." And I was like, "All right, bet." I gave him my information. I ended up getting an email. And then I didn't hear shit for about 6 months. I was in Atlanta doing a show at Uptown Comedy Corner. And one of the guys that's one of the producers that's at Hot in Atlanta was like, "Hey, you want to come in? It's a radio opportunity." And I'm like, "Well, I live somewhere else." He was like, "You might want to come in for this." Totally different meetup. I went in there, killed the audition, and then 2 weeks later, I get a call to come to DC. They offered me the job. I started hosting on the show, and it was really bringing some big shouts out to Head Crack. Man, one of the pioneers in morning radio and just a great dude all the way around. And he was the nucleus and the captain of the show. And I mean, if I were to synopsize it, Angie, L'Oreal, that's my family, bro. We went through a lot of shit, like a new show. We got hit with a lot of politics as well as the pandemic. That really changed the landscape where most shows can brand and build on who we were. We couldn't do that because we were too busy informing the country, talking to the CDC, trying to keep people informed. A national, international, global crisis. It's hard to keep people up, and then you got the nucleus of our people weren't going to work anymore, which is where that show got its bread and butter from. Now when we had all these big dreams of how we were going to keep our salaries and things that we were doing, they couldn't afford to do it with what was going on. And I mean, to be quite honest, radio is taking a big dive because that's a generational thing. Technology is offering so many platforms, much like this, where people can hear what they want to hear when they want to hear it. And then for me, with my dark cloud, went through my divorce, was in a very intense custody battle, and I was working remotely in Houston. And I had custody of my daughters at the time. And it was a choice of, they wanted me to come to Atlanta to come back into the studio. And I couldn't leave my girls. They didn't have no other option at the time. Their mom wasn't in the state. And, it was a hard decision for me, but an easy decision for me at the same time. Because, as men, when you a part of your family, as a father and as a captain, you're going to be the person to take the L's. And I didn't count it as an L. I counted it as my daughters needed me there. And I'll do that same decision 1,000 times over, choosing my family first, because God will always provide a way, and He has. So
now how did that work out though? Because typically the mother ends up with the kids.
Well, we went through court at the time. It was an ugly divorce, and we went through a lot of stuff. And the crazy part about it is, you'll hear me say this a lot of times throughout the day, is that you can't understand God's plan. And you wouldn't think today, with the tumultuous level of how our divorce went, that me and my ex-wife and her new fiance and my new fiance, we all co-parent together and sit and drink beer and talk and go places and do stuff together seamlessly.
How long did it take for y'all to get to that space? After the initial breakup, there's a lot of hard feelings. Each side thinks that their pain is greater than the others. How long did it take before y'all got to be civil toward each other again?
It wasn't a matter of how long. It was a matter of how He wanted to see it fit. Man, crazy. About 6 months into my divorce, I got diagnosed with a brain tumor in my brain. And, you know, I often look back at the story of Job, like, how can you lose everything at one time? My family, my career, friends, opportunity. And I'm thankful that God took me through that process, bro. Like, I was now facing death. This tumor scared the hell out of me. Cancer scared the hell out of me. But it put shit in perspective. It made me understand the most valuable thing on this earth, and that is time. 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 How much time do you really have that you think you have? It's not that.
Did you share your brain tumor experience on social media? Because I didn't even know you went through that.
Yeah, bro. It was one of those things that I decided into it, that this was a personal bout. This was not something where I'm a victim of. This is not woe is Billy. It's nah. This is what I'm going to do, what I'm going to deal with. And my inner family needed to know that. And this is where I tell people all the time, it's like everybody don't need to know everything. Like, I'm free to talk about it here because it's a relevant point to this, but ain't nobody going to go take my treatments or my medicine that I got to deal with. That's a personal walk. No matter which way it goes, guess who's in control of it? I had to really unlearn something that people have been saying for a long time. You'll hear people say this, oh man, you need to put that in God's hand. Probably the most blasphemous thing you can say. I'm gonna go and let God have it. Do you know how retarded you sound? How arrogant you are? Excuse me for saying the hard R with that, but how ridiculous you sound saying that. It's always been in his hand. So when you realize that your arrogance and your ego let you think that you had the controls of deciding what he gets and what he don't. No, he's always in control. It eased up understanding of how to prioritize and categorize the most important things in my life. And that was one understanding. Time is not on my side. So having quarrels and beefs with people, I then turned to, if I get out of here tomorrow, what my girl's gonna do? Immediately went through trying to get, like, you know, some policies in place and stuff straight. And it's hard because, you know, I got 4 baby mamas, so I'm on call trying to get them, you know, get everything straight, insurance. And I'm like, hey, you know, I got it set up. Each of y'all gonna get, you know, $500,000 in the event I get out of here per kid, you know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, talking to women, immediately my mama said, how much is it to get it up to $1 million? She ready to put the other half up on the money. Just how much to run it on up to that? I'm like,
said that?
these daughters' mama, they trying to get it to $1 million. I was like, you know, I gotta die for y'all to get this money.
Wow.
Are you serious? And I laughed.
4 baby mamas?
4, now 5.
Good God. Mm-hmm. Lord have mercy.